everyone. Welcome to another Instaviews. I am Saskia, the assistant editor of Voice, as you probably all know. I do hope that you're all enjoying some of the sun in this really random heat wave and you're not stuck inside or stuck at work and you actually get a chance to take it in before winter truly hits us. So today we are going to be joined by Robyn Horne, who is the director of a new short play called Lemons, 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 Lemons. I do believe there is 5, which will be featured in the Stonecrabs Theatre presents Play-Doh, The Things That Shape Us, which is a week-long festival of 9 short plays, both live and online, directed by the UK's most talented new directors. The festival actually starts next week, but let's bring on Robyn and she can tell you more about it. Hi, Robyn.
Hey. Yeah.
I'm good, thank you. How are you doing?
I'm good, thanks. It's nice to be here.
Yeah, thank you so much for joining us today.
It's, my pleasure. Thanks for having me.
Of course. So why don't you start by introducing yourself and telling us a bit about your creative background?
Sure. My name's Robyn, as you've just heard. I am a young director with Stonecrabs Theatre company. We actually started the course back in March 2020, so I've been doing that for quite a while now. Actually, no, we started about January 2020. So it's been a bit of a roller coaster journey, as you can imagine. Despite being a director, I don't have a drama school background. So I actually did my undergrad in English Lit, and I recently completed a postgrad in creative arts and mental health at Queen Mary University. So that was really interesting. I come at the arts from a perspective of thinking that they're like essential for social change and for promoting empathy between people. I think hearing different people's stories is so essential in being able to connect with different people and just provoking people to think and reflect on our society a bit, which is why I went on to study creative arts and mental health. So that's my background. I also love musical theatre as a little side note, because so that's me.
Yeah, musical theatre is great. I need to definitely see a show soon now that the West End is open again.
Honestly, I went to see Six the other day. To be fair, it was weird being the first time in like a fully packed auditorium, but oh my gosh, it was amazing.
I only got to see a preview of Six at West End Live like maybe 2 years ago or something like that. But yeah, definitely need to see the whole thing. It sounds like such a great concept.
It's so clever. So clever. Kind of so simple, but I don't know, really, really, really well done. So
yeah,
very happy that musicals are back in everyone's lives. So yay.
Yes. So why don't you tell us a bit about Stonecrabs Theatre and the work that they do with young people?
Sure. So to foreground this by saying Stonecrabs is amazing, like in the work that they do with young people. Speaking as someone who's like personally benefited from being able to be part of their team and to be kind of under their wing for the past year and a bit, they've been running this young directors program for a long time now. I'm going to say a decade. I might be wrong. I should probably have double checked that beforehand. But they've been running it for a long time. And the idea essentially is to be able to give access to free training in directing for a wide range of people, and people that are really like passionate about doing that and want a chance to kind of further themselves and to develop more of their artistic voice. So it started there's a theatre company in their own right. They do a lot of work thinking about theatre of the oppressed and Augusto Boal. Franco is our artistic director and been an amazing support and mentor whilst everyone's been on the programme. And then the Stonecrabs Young Directors Programme, I think we started out as about 12 of us that were weekly training in both directing and producing. So it would be kind of industry professionals would come in and teach us about different rehearsal room exercises, or thinking about how to plan your whole process, or thinking about lighting. So it's very like comprehensive view of directing, but also with a really practical element of thinking. These are young people who are going to need to like survive in this industry and need to be freelance and need to produce their own work alongside directing. So it gave a really good grounding in both of those aspects. And the culmination of this program is to put on a scratch performance of your choice of a cast of about 2 or 3. And originally, pre-pandemic, we were going to be in Theatre Delhi in Broadgate. And then the entire world has changed since we've been part of this course. So so that's shifted, and now we're at Southwark Playhouse. But can't believe it might actually be happening next week. So
yes. Positive thinking only. Is going to happen. You have to manifest it.
At this point, it's going to make it there one way or another. So it's good.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So tell us about the festival that is happening next week and how you got involved in it.
Sure. So next week is a really exciting lineup of different shows. Like I've read all of the plays and like we've worked on them all together a bit. And like genuinely, I'm just, it's a really cool, diverse range of plays. It starts on Tuesday and we're having a Q&A in the afternoon. And then a show called Chef by Sabrina Mefus. And one of the young directors is directing that. And throughout the week, there'll be 2 shows per evening of scratch performances of different plays, each about 45 minutes, 50 minutes in length. And it's been the culmination of what we've been working towards, and we've had about 5 days in total of rehearsal process, so not a long time at all. And we're having a space to put that on in Southwark Playhouse next week. And honestly, the lineup is so exciting of the different range of plays, and it would just be a great chance to showcase everybody's work. The festival itself is called The Things That Shape Us, and the concept of that was kind of, this program has been about developing us as young artists, so it's kind of thinking about what shapes us as artists, and it's under 4 main themes. The themes are politics, I think, language, family, one other. It will come to me. But it's using those things to explore what things shape us as individual directors, but also thinking about what shapes just us as human beings and the way we view the world. So come along, it'll be exciting.
So for those of you, for those people who can't get to Suffolk Playhouse, it's also being streamed online, isn't it?
Yeah, it'll be live streamed. I believe most evenings will be live streamed. We've had a couple of copyright things that mean that one of the Wednesday evening won't be live streamed. But so if you're anywhere about, my 91-year-old grandma is going to be tuning in as well. Nobody's got any excuse. I mean, yeah.
So your show is Lemons, 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 and it comes under the theme of language, does it not?
Yeah.
So why don't you tell us a bit about that?
Sure. You're correct in saying that there are 5 lemons. I'm saying all of them every time. So Lemons is about, it's a play by Sam Steiner, and it's basically flips back and forth in time, so it's not chronological, and it goes from a time where the characters were living their normal life, and then this word limit is put in place so that the characters can only say 140 words all day. So it's like, and if you think about the practical reality of this, like, it's mad, like actually mad, trying to think, even writing, like, I think tweets used to be 140 words.
Yeah.
That's not a lot. Like, yeah, so that's the premise of it, that it focuses on a couple, Oliver and Bernadette, and looks at their relationship and how it shifts in a time where they have normal words, they can say everything that they want, and a time when they have very few words and have to be extremely succinct. And so it's a really interesting play because it obviously is grounded in this romance and this love, and it's very engaging because of that. But at the same time, it like has such a exploration of the society that surrounds it, and like imagining what sort of world we would live in that would be able to impose that sort of limit. So I was personally really attracted to it and really excited by it, because I think I love work that's like got a political undertone, or like I say, that like makes you think and reflect on society and why it is the way it is. And so it's really engaging on both those fronts of the love and the drama draws you in and you're attracted to those characters, but then that sparks you to think about, you know, society, censorship, oppression, language, how we communicate, why we say the things that we do. Yeah, so.
It sounds really interesting. I just do not think I could live in a world where I can only speak 140 characters, 140 words. I talk way too much for that.
That's not true. But no, honestly,
It is.
It's like, even I've tried to do some of the like little bios, what they call like synopsis, of the play in 140 words, and like it does not go far at all. Yeah, and especially like I said, we started this course back in January 2020, and it was already like a pretty relevant play, thinking about like how the government has an impact in our daily lives, and how we might be censored in some different ways, or like why we use the words that we do. But honestly, only like over the past year, my view on it has entirely changed. It has become like even more pertinent, even more like real, like thinking about even like the material reality of like being in lockdown and thinking what control the government has in people's like really private, intimate spaces. That has only become more and more relevant and important to think about. So it's been so exciting to come back to this play after a long time and thinking, wow, this is like could not be more on the nose for the world that we're living in at this moment in time. So it's cool.
Yeah, and I can imagine because of that, lots of people are going to be able to like relate and just really appreciate what it is that you've tried to achieve.
I hope so.
So what is one of the highlights from working on Lemons? I won't say the other four.
All right. There've been loads of highlights, honestly. We did like an online R&D, so for people that maybe don't like have that much interaction with running rehearsal processes, to do a research and development process is kind of when you take a text and you just play around with it with actors, and you think about different ways that it could be staged, or as a director you're like looking for what your view on the play is to then take forward into a kind of more formal rehearsal process. And so that was definitely a highlight, and that was even back in July 2020, but that was really nice to be able to like not feel pressure that this needs to like go to a specific point at this moment in time, but just to like work with actors. It was all via Zoom, work with actors and really play around with the text. So that was fantastic. Another highlight, I would say I've been working with someone called Fran Burgoyne and Nicholas Masters Waj. I potentially pronounced that wrong, but just being able to like, they've been super game for trying out new ideas and thinking about the play in new ways. So I've really enjoyed that, and that's definitely been a massive highlight for me.
It's always good to have people that you can, like try out new ideas with and be a little bit unorthodox to create something great.
Yeah. And like, I think like lemons is I'm determined. um, it's actually like quite a well-known play. So a lot, and don't think I really realized that when I first chose it, I'll add. Um, but that comes with its own challenges because it's like people have this view of what this play is, or their own reasons of why they like this play. And so I think it can feel a bit like a bit of pressure to live up to that in some way. But I like, yeah, it's been really nice to be able to play around with it as much as possible and not necessarily feel too constricted by those sort of pressures. So, yeah.
Would you say the play being more known was one of the challenges that you faced, or did you face any other kind of challenges in creating it?
Yeah, I would say that is a challenge. I would also say, like, it is a challenging play in the fact that it switches back and forth in time. And it's like, that is partly why it's such a brilliant play. Like, you kind of learn about the characters and you learn about their journey as an audience in a very gentle way, like you having different bits revealed to you really at the playwright's discretion, which is, I don't know, such a like amazing feat to be able to pull that off as a playwright. But that makes technically for a very challenging job for actors, because you're constantly like, we went through the play in chronological order and we've kind of blocked it in chronological order, and then they're having to like switch that all around and think about, oh, but this actually comes early in the play, or like this comes after a very particular part. So that's been a challenge, but also really like fun. I've really enjoyed taking on that challenge. I'd also say the pandemic for Stonecrabs as a whole has been a challenge. As I'm like, the pandemic has been a massive challenge for everybody. So yeah, but we were able to do some really like, the fact that we did an online R&D came out of the pandemic and not being in person. And Stonecrabs was amazing in applying for sort of Arts Council recovery funding, and so we were really able to face it head on and just make the best of a mad situation. So
yeah. I mean, you kind of answered my next question, which was how did COVID impact you? But yeah,
that as well. Yeah, well, it did impact us, as obviously impacted everyone. Because originally the festival was supposed to be like April 2020. Supposed to be 4 months of our lives and then be done. And now we're here in September 2021. Still a young director. And which is why it kind of still feels very surreal that it's actually happening. But yeah, I remember literally sitting in a rehearsal room near Liverpool Street with all the other young directors, and we'd seen kind of headlines about coronavirus, and some of us were getting increasingly worried. But then there was another group of us, myself included, who was just like, oh, it'll be fine. We were afterwards. There was absolutely nobody at the pub. Like, it was just absolutely bizarre. But
yeah, I think I was with you in that group of people who were like, oh, it's going to be fine, it will pass. And then, almost 2 years later and it hasn't.
Literally, it's like, it was kind of like, I don't know, we just thought, oh, everyone thinks it's the end of the world, this is hilarious. And then it was the end of the world. So, oh God. But yeah.
So after the festival is done, what is next for you? Do you have any other projects lined up?
I would like a little holiday.
Okay.
Break, Frank. Yeah, I don't have anything like super specific immediately. I like, yeah, I honestly, I'm going to be very frank and say, I don't know what I'm doing. And I'm kind of quite excited by that and happy about that, because it's been 2 years, like I say, that we've been on this program now. And that has been amazing. But almost the ending of that feels like an end of like a period of time. Like so much of what we've done with Stonecrabs has been during the pandemic and has really helped, I can say for myself, has definitely helped me be resilient as an artist, as a person during the pandemic, constantly kind of making me reevaluate why this is important to me, why I think theatre is important. But that being said, I think, yeah, a little time to take stock will be a good thing. So I'm quite excited for that. Yeah.
Yeah. Definitely sound like you have a well-deserved break with your name on it. So enjoy the time and obviously just relax. Yeah, it's definitely well-deserved.
Plan, thank you. Sometimes you need people to tell you, because otherwise I just keep going. And...
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So do you have any advice for other young creators looking to get into the industry?
Yeah. I would say, as much as it, and this is like, I can't even pretend that this is not, like, this comes innately to me. And it's something that I constantly am reminding myself. But I just think, take the risks, whether that's like artistically. I think especially when you're very early in your career, you can be worrying a lot about, how will this be received by people? What will people think of me? And obviously there's an extent to which you want to be thinking about what your audience thinks, because you're there to make theatre that in some way moves people. However, I don't think that that should end up making you get lost and like forget why you're here, or like, I just think it's good to stay a bit true to yourself and don't let the sort of little doubtful voices creep in and stop you from just going for it and being as like authentically yourself and authentically yourself as an artist. Honestly, that was like a literal conversation that I had with Franco, the artistic director of Stonecrabs, yesterday, of them just being like, actually, when we start to worry about that or start to be overly concerned and overly critical is when you get a bit lost. So yeah, I'd say be bold. And I mean, I'd rather be bold, and again reminding myself this, but I'd rather be bold and fall flat on my face than play it safe and it be okay. Do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, exactly. Should never be afraid of risk. Like they say, life starts at the end of your comfort zone. So
yes, I like that.
you can use it whenever. I don't think I came up with it though.
Oh,
I think I stole that from somebody else.
Yeah, I mean, even if you think like in terms of what you apply to when you're very early career, or like what things you apply to, even if it's the process of just having an interview, or like you meet people through that, and like you get to learn a bit more of like what you get to know yourself better as an artist, or know what your own motivations are better. And so I think, yeah, no, there's no failures, only opportunities for growth, you know, challenges. It's all good is the summary of my advice to young people.
Yeah, listen to Robyn, she's right. So just last question for you then, Robyn, where can people find you on social, and can you tell us again where people can watch all the plays?
Yeah, so my Instagram is Robyn Horne, so ROBYHORNE. It's complicated spelling, underscore on Instagram, so feel free to follow me on that. You might also specifically want to follow Stonecrabs Theatre Company, because they post loads of great content about what they're up to, and they have loads of exciting things going on all the time, but also they share a lot of like opportunities that are happening, even if it's with different theatre companies. And so it's a great place to find some resources as well. That is at Stonecrabs Theatre.
Yeah. I believe so.
Saying that competently. At Stonecrabs Theatre. And then come along to the shows next week, which are on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday at Southwark Playhouse in the Little. It's a lovely venue. It's very exciting. Shows start at 8 p.m. and there's one at 8 till 8:50 and then 9 till 9:50. But your ticket will get you into both. And please stay and see both because, it would just be really nice to have a lovely audience and to have support. And you can get tickets on the Southwark Playhouse website. They are all on there, both live stream tickets, which are £10, and festival tickets, which are slightly more, but you get the live in-person experience. So, yeah.
Can't put a price on that.
Exactly. Get to see, all these lovely faces in person. So, great.
Well, thank you so much for joining me today, Robyn. It's been lovely to talk to you.
You too. Thanks for having me.
Of course.
Yeah.
And the video will be posted straight afterwards on our Instagram. And thank you, everybody, for watching.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye.
Today's episode was made possible by Voice Magazine, an online platform for young people interested in art and culture. You can read VoiceOver at voicemag.uk and find it on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook as VoiceMagUK. If you like this podcast, please consider helping us to make more with a donation of any amount at voicemag.uk/donate. Thanks to Kevin MacLeod for use of the track Thief in the Night. You can find more of his work on incomputech.com.